JBN, we keep you informed. Police seize gun after shootout in Kingston 11. The police seized the gun and 18 rounds of ammunition after they were attacked by men armed with guns on Norman Lane, Kingston 11 yesterday. Police reports are that about 9 a.m. lawmen were conducting an operation in the area when gunmen opened fire at them. When the shooting subsided, a Springfield 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 18 rounds of ammunition was found, the police said. No one was arrested in relation to this seizure. Body believed to be missing man found. A body believed to be that of a missing Portland man was discovered yesterday in bushes near Pastor Gardens in the parish. Detectives from the Criminal Investigation Branch visited the scene in an hilly area known as Calder, which is close to the community of Snow Hill. The man was reported missing 3 days ago after family members and the neighbors were unable to locate him. Former councillor on rap for sex with minor gets bail. Former councillor for the Cedar Valley Division in St. Thomas, Derville Dwyer, who was arrested in connection with a case of sexual misconduct involving a minor, is to return to court on March 20. He was offered bail when he appeared in the Yallow's courthouse in St. Thomas yesterday in the sum of $1 million with surety. Dwyer and the police sergeant fled the island more than 2 years ago after both men were implicated in a case of sexual assault on the minor, who later became pregnant. She was 15 years old at the time. The former councillor was arrested at the Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston on January 26 after he attempted to re-enter the country. He was later handed over to the Morant Bay Police, where he was arrested and charged. The police sergeant is still at large. When Dwyer appeared in court yesterday, his attorney, Ainsley Williams, told the court that his client made a conscious effort to return to Jamaica knowing that there was a warrant for his arrest. Speaking in an interview, Williams said he deliberately returned to Jamaica knowing what the consequences were. So this removes the flight risk element because he came back to willingly surrender himself to the jurisdiction of the court. Williams, who also requested a medical report on behalf of Dwyer, indicated that a doctor came and gave evidence that Dwyer has a degenerative disease. Another doctor tested for the same, and his report also confirmed his health profile and that the evidence of the disease is obvious. He said the judge agreed with the submissions and offered bail on the condition that his client makes no contact with any of the Crown witnesses, including the complainant and her daughter. District Constable arrested by iProbe. The Inspectorate and Professional Standards Oversight Bureau, iProbe, is reporting that a Westmoreland-based district constable is now in police custody, following his arrest yesterday on reasonable suspicion of breaches of the Corruption Prevention Act. According to iProbe, the arrest was the culmination of an investigation that began in December 2019 when a vendor reported that the district constable solicited and accepted money from him after he was allegedly found vending in a no-vending zone. The vendor was reportedly released after the money was paid over. iProbe investigators said the policeman will now be placed on an identification parade, after which a file would be submitted to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions for a ruling. Portland police seize illegal guns. 2 illegal guns have been recovered by the Portland police as they insist that they will maintain the parish's reputation for being peaceful. The weapons were seized in Buff Bay last night. Superintendent in charge of the parish, Dwayne Wellington, said the police were on patrol in the White River area of Buff Bay about 9 p.m. when they saw a group of men. He said the men were searched, however one escaped, leaving behind an object. The object was retrieved, which turned out to be a 9mm pistol containing 5 live rounds. During a search of the group, a .38 revolver was recovered from the waist of one of the men. The recovery of the weapons is a significant step as we are seeking to disrupt and dismantle those who continue to engage in illegal and criminal activities, Wellington said. The superintendent pointed out that the Buff Bay area and its surroundings, especially White River, are being heavily patrolled by the police as 3 murders were committed in the area last year. We will not allow criminals to disrupt the peace of any community in Portland, and we will continue to track them down. I am sending a clear message to those who are engaging in illegal activities to desist. We will track you down and the full force of the law will be applied, he said. He maintained that Portland is a peaceful parish with friendly people and the movement of law-abiding citizens in the public space will not be restricted by criminals and hoodlums. There have been no murders in Portland since the start of the year. The parish is known to be the most peaceful, with about 10 murders last year. Port Antonio Mayor cries foul as rats plague town. The dumping of garbage along the coastline of Port Antonio in the vicinity of Foreshore Road, which has transformed that area into a breeding ground for rats, has angered Mayor Paul Thompson. Thompson, who spoke recently, pointed out that considerable resource was pumped into getting rid of rats, which had overrun the town and its environs. He argued that despite the joined-up approach on the part of various state agencies that pulled their resources together in the fight against the rodents, the lack of civic pride on the part of those who continue to dump food particles, plastic material, and other garbage, which is a recipe for breeding rats, is hampering the success of the rodent eradication program. This has got to stop, Thompson said. We are winning the fight against the rats to eradicate and to disrupt their breeding ground. But there is now a new twist to our success, as persons are literally feeding rodents along the corridors of Foreshore Road. Once food is dumped in that area, the rats will return, and indeed they have to some extent. The Ministry of Health, the Portland Municipal Corporation, and the Social Development Commission have dedicated time, money, and human resource just to ensure that the fight against the rodents is heavily concentrated on. But it doesn't make any sense, and we are doomed for failure if individuals continue to deposit food along that area. The amount of resources that was pumped into public education alone was a tidy sum. We have to do better as a people and stop this kind of nasty practice. The re-emergence of the rodents, primarily rats and roaches, have also triggered cries from commercial business operators. Eustace Lindsay of Piggy's Jerk Center is appealing to persons to desist from dumping food particles, which is attracting rats along the corridor even during daytime. Rats are known for spreading the deadly leptospirosis disease, which is harmful to humans and can result in death. Samuda warns of harsh measures as school violence surges. Carl Samuda, the minister with responsibility for the education portfolio, has warned of harsh measures to come as the ministry grapples with frequent acts of violence in the nation's schools. He declined, however, to give details of the type of stringent measures that would be introduced. I can assure you that we're going to take all necessary measures to put a stop to this. The measures that will have to be implemented will be harsh, but it's something that we cannot compromise on because what is happening today is totally unacceptable, Samuda said yesterday. He said that the staff at the Ministry of Education was working to ensure that schools were safe places for children and teachers to operate in. Further, he said that before the decisions were made, he would first meet with ministry officials to properly brief cabinet on the incidents of violence in schools. Samuda added that measures to limit access to schools through repairs to permit offences in 20 institutions would be addressed. The minister's comments came on the heels of threats made by a parent of a student at the Gregory Park Primary School in Portmore, St. Catherine on Thursday, which caused teachers to walk off their job. Reports are that the police were called to the school after a teacher was reportedly threatened by a parent. Richard Williams, the school's principal, said the parent claimed that his child had an altercation with another child at the institution. It is reported that the parent came to the school to discipline the other child, but turned his anger towards the teachers after he was questioned. The school board chairman was subsequently contacted and the ministry notified of the incident. Over the past week, there have been incidents at Heltham High School, where armed men stormed the compound, and Orokabesa High, where the dean of discipline was attacked by a student. There was also a bust-up incident at the Homestead Primary School in St. Catherine, which left a student and the principal reportedly nursing injuries. Grateful to God, all lives were spared, says owner of fire-damaged Mandeville gas station. Claudine Haven, a principal of the Havens Fesco gas station in Mandeville, Manchester, says that following yesterday's fire at the service station in Mandeville, the business focus continues to be on the well-being of staff and customers who have supported the business for over 33 years. In a series of tweets this morning, Haven said that the business now awaits the result of investigations into the incident, which hospitalized at least 5 people and damaged up to 12 motor vehicles. The events of last evening have been difficult for us to comprehend. We are grateful to God that all lives were spared and continue to pray that the 5 persons injured will be restored to full health. All our staff are accounted for, even said in her tweet. We wish to acknowledge the quick response of the Jamaica Fire Brigade and the amazing job they did in containing the blaze. Their professionalism and hard work ensured that no damage was done to the main structure or surrounding buildings. Even added, the team from at Jamaica Constabulary were on top of things and worked hard to secure the area, which saw to the safety of all. We are truly grateful. The medical staff at #Mandeville Regional Hospital were superb, she said. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.